All right, and welcome into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. After the Edmonton Oilers game, the Oilers shut out the Bruins, Razor, 4-0 at TD Garden. The Bruins now winless in 5, 0-4-1 in their last 5 games. Since the Christmas break, they have one win. They beat the Columbus Blue Jackets on the second night of a back-to-back coming out of the break. So just one win in those games since Christmas. Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor is proudly presented by the people at Fazenda Coffee Roasters, located in Dedham. Fazenda Coffee is the place to go for everything Morning Brew. Morning Brew Blend, Morning Brew Clean Canteen, and also the Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor baseball hats. They're also the place to go if you want some great freaking coffee. How's that? Whole bean, they'll grind it for you from the darkest to light roast. Fazenda Coffee has got it all. Check out fazendacoffee.com/morningbrew and get everything you could want for a great cup of coffee. Thank you to them. Razor, thank you to you. How are you doing right now, my friend?
Good.
All right. That was not a pretty game.
It's fast.
It was fast. It did move. You know what else was fast? The Edmonton Oilers' speed. They play fast. They play a fast game because they move beautifully with and without the puck. This was, as I've watched him a fair amount this year, fits and starts here and there. I thought this was a very incredibly efficient game for them. And I thought they took advantage, I thought, of a Bruins team that did not look confident from the start of the game, turning the puck over numerous times, missing some defensive assignments. And I thought Edmonton looked confident the entire game.
Edmonton's good. Edmonton's, they're the preseason favorite to win the cup, and they went to the final. I mean, they went as far as you can go without winning it, and made some good additions, I thought, in the offseason with Arvidsson and Skinner and some depth guys. And then they have the two best players on the planet, or two of the four.
They do.
Two of the four best players in the world. So, they're playing really well. Their numbers are the best over the last 25 games, and you can see why. It's rightly so. And if the Bruins were gonna, they hung with them 3 weeks ago because they were ready to go right off the bat, and they scored early and they played well, and they were moving the puck and not turning it over. I mean, how many indirect passes got picked off in the first period?
It was striking, at least it was to me. It was striking how many of those type of plays they were. I call those hope plays, those indirect passes that if they don't connect, watch out, man. And at least 4, if not 5. And how many plays, Razor, in the first period alone made right around the blue line within 4 feet, 3 feet of the blue line? At least 3 of those that turned into opportunities for Edmonton.
Yeah, and again, it's just it's just out of character and the force, and probably thinking they need a little bit more when against this team in Edmonton, but really you need a little less. So and it was the fourth line, just had a really bad first period, which they haven't had too many of. Like you can't go after them about it, but they had the toughest of time, I thought, in the first period, and of course giving up the goal with 3 or 4 opportunities to get the puck out and move it out, and we just haven't seen that from that line, anyways. And so they get behind, and they just didn't get momentum from any other points in the game.
All right, well, give me concern level. I've got some concern. I do. I'm watching this team, and I don't want to look too far in advance, but schedule ain't getting any easier, bud. You got Tampa, then Florida, and then am I forgetting? Is it Tampa the next game again right after that, back at home? I know they go on the road they go down to Tampa, then Florida on Saturday. So the schedule,
it's a great. It's a great time for the mom's trip. That's good. There'll be some nice, fun energy for everyone tomorrow to work hard and be happy. And I mean, there's nothing more special than the next 3 days for the guys and their moms. I mean, so the energy will be good about that. That's good timing. Always, nice to have a mom hug. And Yeah, of course there's concern. You can't, lose 5 in a row in this league. It's tough because everyone's getting points, and it's you can't have it go on much longer.
Yeah. Well, after the game, a lot of players were asked, how do you get out of it? And, the answers were get back to the kind of hockey that we have to play, that we know we can play. And I understand we're in a kind of we're under that dark cloud right now. So it's kind of hard to see the sunshine, right? They had sunshine before the break. Now it's stormy. But how do you get out of those dark clouds? I mean, and you hear the players talk about, we have to be better defensively, of course, but the assignments are being missed. The sticks aren't being picked. The middle ice is being left open. We hear about you just talked about how many of these indirect passes or whatever. I mean, turnovers galore, things not getting completed. Is it more physical or is it more mental right now, in your opinion, where they're at?
No, it's mental. It's fully mental, because 3 games ago we were talking about how great they were defensively, but they couldn't score. It's fully mental. It's about getting to work and process, and all those words that they use all year round are for these times. And you can't change now. You have to stick with what you've done, and you have to stick with what you know is best, and you have to compete and work. And there's only one way out of this stuff in this league. There is. It's work. And of course there's always tweaks, there's always people's jobs at stake, and these guys know it. It's no fun, but at the same time it's not fantasy football where you just trade 5 guys and the switch gets flipped. So these guys are in it, and they have to work themselves out of it, and they have to just find a way.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's not fantasy football. You can't just make it up, but and just say, I'll be armchair GM and this has got to happen. Ain't that easy. I understand. No. I get all that. We get that. And I think most fans get it too. But I'll say this, and I've said this before, it feels like a move is necessary, whether that's a call up, whether that's some type of a trade, whether it's something, I don't know. It feels that way to me. Some type Razor could be the smallest move. I don't know. It just feels like,
well, you're not getting any this weekend, right? With the moms in town. Like they're not making a trade with moms on planes.
Understand.
They're not sending anybody down or putting anyone on waivers for the next few days. So that's like a Monday talk, I guess, when everyone gets home from this trip. Right? Because they can't do that. Like you can't do that.
Right. Moms take precedent.
They do. Like you have this trip, like you don't mess with that. That would,
right.
That's like New York,
that becomes New York Ranger-esque.
You don't do it. They will not do it. I promise you, they won't do it.
Yeah. It feels like something is needed. I haven't said this often, although I know early in the year, I'm sure there might be a clip somewhere. But watching them in the first period on Tuesday, Bud, it just seemed you could phrase it 2 ways. They were showing too much respect to the Edmonton Oilers, or they were playing, I called it too cautious. They were, you could say it, on their heels, whatever. We really haven't seen that. You mentioned recently, you play a really good game in Washington, you couldn't score, but you played a good game there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The defensive issues in Toronto didn't like, but I still felt like they had confidence. The Ranger game, they had confidence there. For this game felt to me like, for the first time in a while, Razor, where they didn't have the necessary, hey, we might not be this, but we're going to be that. And we're still going to bring it. I never felt like, there were some chances here and there, and Skinner made some good saves, but I never felt it. Did you feel that, or am I on my own on that one?
I don't think I didn't feel it. Like, I just thought they were making mistakes. I thought that they looked like a team that was forcing a little, but also it had a day off and we're just trying to get into the game. And Edmonton was already there. Edmonton just beat them and was more ready. Because again, you can go to and Swayman was very good in the first, which was nice. Like he was kicking.
Yeah.
It all falls apart within 10 seconds. Zaka misses a penalty shot or breakaway, and if they get that again, I'm not doing the if game because people do the if game to me when they win, and I hate that. So I'm not doing it. But the game was still there halfway through, and with one breakaway going one way and another going in a different way, then it's a game. So they were trying to get to it. And again, I just think they just weren't good enough. And now now those losses in Washington and the Rangers have caught up to them because now it's 5 in a row. That's that's how it works as well in this league, is when you don't get the ones you should, then it snowballs quickly. So they weren't good tonight. They just weren't good. And
felt like they were forcing things.
They did. Yeah, they did in the first. They were using that high forward play, which they haven't done very much of all year. Like, I don't know where that came from. And that's a tough team to start doing that against.
They are so fast
without practicing it.
Yeah. They close. I'll give them credit. They're much better defensively. I know they didn't start the year out great. I think some of that had to do with the so-called Stanley Cup final, whether it's a hangover or, residual there, the energy maybe being down or up and down. You can't really generate it. Now they're playing well. They connected quickly with Zach Hyman, for instance. He called it a great team win. And he said, we're finding our game now. Like, we're getting to what we are. And I think that they are. Let's go through the game, Razor. We'll do this one quickly here. First period starts, and it's all Edmonton Oilers. They're getting going, and they're feasting on Bruins giveaways, turnovers. I think they're faster than the Bruins, getting to spots more. It ends up being an Adam Henrique goal, his 4th goal of the season, that gets things started at the 6:33 mark of 3:33, beg your pardon, of the first period. He's going to get a pass from behind the net. Corey Perry, the veteran player, gets the puck, behind the net, and he is going to wait, bring it to his strong side, off of the blocker side of Jeremy Swayman. And there's 5 Bruins that come back to the middle to protect the middle, but Henrique does a nice job. It's maybe a half a second or a second outside the play, getting above it. And I think it was Cole Koepke that saw him at the last second. They couldn't close on him with his stick. He gets the puck and he wrist shots, one-time wrister, really nice release upstairs past the glove of Jeremy Swayman to make it 1-0.
And again, the Bruins, that line had 3 or 4 opportunities on that shift to get it out, a few soft plays, and that broke them down. And then they get in their shell, but weren't aware, and just way too easy. And the guys talked about it in the room after, where the pre-scout was that they make those plays and they completely missed on their pre-scout obligations right out of the gates on that one.
Shots in the first period were 14-4 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. I thought that the Bruins' third line had a few good shifts in the first period. I thought they were their best line. Would you agree with that in the first period?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I thought, actually, I noticed Wahlstrom a couple times, Brazeau again, Freddie was moving, so a couple of opportunities, but only 4 shots on goal. So we go to the second period. Razor, you already mentioned it, but it is worth going over. And oh, you know what? Let me hit on this real quick. I mean, not a major deal anymore, but the Nikita Zadorov goalie interference penalty, and that one in the first period, I had no issue with the call. I didn't. Did you? I don't think you did.
No. Yeah, no. He went in there and he
didn't make enough of an effort to get out of the way. Probably didn't mean to do it, but the way the game is called right now, that was a goalie interference play. And and you had it right about the whole spotter thing. It was obvious that he had to be pulled. You had
to take him out, no question.
Yeah. So, all right. So, but Skinner ends up coming back to start the second period. So, all right. So now we get to the second period, and there's an interference penalty. and on Leon Draisaitl. Yes, in the second period. I'm reading the notes here that I have here in the second period. And then the Bruins, though, don't end up getting anything on the power play. Stop me if you've heard that before, right? Power play does nothing. I mean, Razor, I'm at the point right now, and I know it's easy sitting in this chair, and I'm not being blasphemous. I'm not, but I'm at the point, start the second unit if you can. I just am. I think that second unit, and whomever it is, it's mostly, you see Lowry and Geeky, and it's Coyle, who else? Brazo and Wallstrom, right? And I mean, they just move the puck around, shoot it. That's what they do. Get it, move it, shoot it. The first unit is looking again like they are thinking their way through it instead of feeling their way through it. Would you agree with that?
Therefore, yeah, like the bumper plays and the backhand stuff, and you got to imagine they'll tweak that over the next couple of days somehow. They've got to keep tweaking it.
They have to
figure out something. They need it to, they're up for, 0 for 12 now, and like 9 for 84 or whatever it is. So they're, it's just really, it's really tough. It is taken so much life out of them every time they get a power play. Like you're not even excited when they get a power play right now, and I don't think they are either. So
dead on.
Obviously David's got to, you got to have your best players go over the boards first on a consistent basis. Sometimes you can go with the second unit in game, but it's more important to figure out what's going on with that first unit. Well, hopefully they can do that in practices.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you move David to you split up some of those guys in the first unit.
Yeah, they've tried that. So, you could see him doing that again.
I could see him maybe putting David with the second unit, and maybe that's where you take a guy like Wallstrom off of it and you try that. My point of bringing that up is then right after that, after Trent Frederick tries to get the team, the Garden going, gets a fight finally with Corey Perry. I didn't agree with the extra minor for roughing. I call it a new age NHL. It's not even an instigator. It's a roughing. They spare him the extra 10 minutes. But while he did, initially try to get him going, Corey Perry was also holding on to his stick. And when they finally decided to drop the gloves, Corey Perry was the first one to do it. He got his glove off the first. So I don't know. He gets the penalty. I'm willing. Fine. All right. Whatever. Freddie gets the penalty at 10:37 mark. The Bruins have a phenomenal shorthanded chance. Charlie McAvoy brings the puck up after the faceoff in the D zone, gets it out, sifts a backhand pass, kind of sauce backhand it in the O zone to a streaking Pavel Zacha, who goes to the blocker side of Skinner. Tell me what Skinner does there well, because he makes a nice save on that play. Really nice save.
I didn't have a good view of it.
Oh, it's the other end, yeah.
He's big. I know it was like a blocker save. I couldn't tell on his depth, or like I didn't really, because we didn't replay because they went down and scored the other way. So we didn't have it on our monitors very often. But he's big. He fills a lot of net. He forces you to make a move because of his size and his ability to play fairly deep in the net. And tonight he was athletic. Tonight there weren't any holes. That can be the issue sometimes with him, though. The pucks find ways through him just because he is so big. Mm-hmm. But tonight they were hitting him, and on that play, again, I Zacha made a good move. He got better saved by the arm of Skinner.
Yeah, so he gets it with the blocker side. So then the Bruins actually recover the puck. They get it back.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it, yeah.
Exactly. McAvoy then brings it back up, gets it on the left side, the offensive left side for the Bruins. He brings it back towards the point. What is he? He's maybe at the half wall, maybe a little bit above that. Tries to make a play back through the middle ice area that gets intercepted. Again, another play in that danger zone, 4 to 8 feet, either side of the blue line. Brings it up there. And it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins who's going to get, as soon as Nugent-Hopkins gets it, McDavid on the left wing takes off. And it is literally like he is shot out of a rocket, out of a cannon. His first two strides are mind-boggling, how powerful they are. It is, think, the most incredible jet engine with this unbelievable thrust. It's like an extra rocket boost. He takes off. He gets behind the defense. McDavid gets it, a pass from Nugent Hopkins, breakaway in from the blue line, basically, or a little pass. Yeah, because he gets it right at the blue line. We thought maybe offside. It wasn't. And he beats Swayman, a forehand deke to his left side, Swayman's blocker. He had tried to make a shot on Swayman earlier, Razor, quasi breakaway from the other side that went more or less. It wasn't 5-hole. I think he tried to go 5-hole, but it ended up hitting Swayman like in the pads, lower stomach area. This time with the speed, I can only imagine how a goalie matches that. The speed, the ferociousness, if that's a word, or ferocity or whatever it is, coming down the ice. How a goalie can match that.
You can, and that's, you end up getting deep, and he knows it, and Connor, he just beats Jeremy to the post because he's deeper in his net. He's got further to go to that right post, and McDavid's hands are too quick. He gets the puck up too quick. That's his real special go-to.
Yeah.
Like Brad has
his puck bobbled on him on there for a second, and he still did it like no issue.
It doesn't matter. It's so quick. It's it's like Brad's forehand backhand, fake shot backhand breakaway, where it's not every single time, but when he really needs it. McDavid hasn't scored in 7, hasn't had points in 2. That was the one he really needs, and he set Jeremy up, and it's just he has to miss. If he hits a spot, it's impossible, and that's for most of his game, right? Like most of his game, if he gets going, you can't do anything about it. You can't stop it, and then just back to the question of physical or mental. That's a perfect example of why it's mental. Is what, like Charlie McAvoy making that play, it's not. The McDavid didn't score that goal because he skated across the ice and beat McAvoy to the puck and then skated up. Like it was a giveaway. It was a mental. I bet Charlie hasn't done that since he was 9 years old, when he saw the NHL guys do it. And he's like, oh, I'm going to kill a penalty like this. When he was 9, he hasn't given away the puck like that. So, and that's your best defenseman. So it's full on mental, no question. And I think that's the example. And you can't play like that in this league, especially against the big boys.
That's McDavid's 16th goal of the season. Edmonton's going to score another goal at the 16:35 mark of the second period. Adam Henrique gets his second goal of the game, his 5th on the season. Jeff Skinner, no relation to Stewart, he gets the assist along with Zach Hyman. Just another net play. They're getting around there, and we don't need to go through. I mean, Edmonton just
pre-scout. They know that's the play, and no one covers them. It's the exact same as the first goal, just the other side.
Right,
of the net.
The other side. Right. That's what ended up being good. Quick hands again by Henry. Gets the puck off his stick quickly. 16:35 mark makes it 3-0 at that time. Shots in the second period, 15 for Edmonton, 8 for the Bruins. So 29-12 through 2 periods. You head into the third period, and you're thinking, if there's any chance, you got to score early. Bruins, I mean, they had, Marchand in the third period had 3 chances. I mean, Skinner makes some good left pad saves on him a couple of times. There were a couple of, the Bruins had 14 shots in the third period. I'm not trying to disparage it, but I'm like, not that it doesn't matter. Skinner was good. A couple of guys had some chances. Marchand is the one that stood out to me. Am I forgetting somebody else that had a great chance in the third period?
No. Good chance. No, it was mostly Marshy. Marshy had the best one, that breakaway where he cut in, and a couple other little ones. There was lots of action around the net. David had a couple as well where one got blocked. That was a pretty good chance. So in that respect, there was no quit. There's no get. They didn't mail it in. So if anyone's looking for character issues, those weren't there tonight. It was just mental. Three really bad mental issues, and then not starting on time, which cost them tonight, because they got a good effort from Jeremy.
They did. I'm going to ask you something about Jeremy in a second, though, too. 16:25, Victor Arvidsson puts his 5th goal of the season, and empty net goals the Bruins pulled their goaltender, Jeremy Swayman, to try and get back into this one. 4-0 the final. Shots in the third, 10 for Edmonton. Game total of 39. 14 for the Bruins. Game total of 26. Bruins 0 for 2 on the power play. Edmonton 1 for 3. Before I ask you something about Jeremy Swayman, let me tell you about Graciano Construction, one of our sponsors as well this season. They serve Boston and the Greater Metro West area and a little further beyond that too. They're probably willing to go. Graciano Construction is the contractor who will help you refresh and revitalize your space, whatever that space is. They do it all: bathrooms, kitchens, porches, full renovations, painting, garages. There's nothing that Graciano Construction can't do. Give them a call at 508-330-7589 or go to gracianoconstruction.com to check out their site, see what they've done, and reach out to them. You want to discuss what you're looking for, they're happy to do that. They'll give you a free consultation. They make doing home projects pretty much enjoyable. That can be hard to do at times, but Doug Graciano and his staff do a fantastic job. Check out gracianoconstruction.com. Spark of the game. What would be the sparks moment of this game?
Well, it was Freddie, probably for me.
Okay.
That was the most excited the people around me got. So I would say Freddie, which is never, in this league, in the NHL nowadays, fighting and the spark isn't a good combination.
All right, but we'll give it them. I'm with you. He tried to spark the crowd and spark his team. Visit sparkshockey.com. Use the code BREW50, BRU50, to get $50 off. Check out other great deals they have on their site. Razor, when I'm done in a few minutes with you here, I'm going to run downstairs and sharpen my old skates. I'm getting up early to go. I'm I'm in town, get my ass out of bed early and go get a skate in with the other old guys at 7 a.m. tomorrow. But
love it.
I'll hate it when I get up.
Yep.
And I'll really be bitching on the 25-minute ride. But when I get on the ice and about 10 minutes in, I'll be bitching even more because how bad I am. But on the other hand, when I'm done 45 minutes after that,
you're going to feel great.
I'll feel great. Yep. Right.
And it's outdoors rinks. So my kids were outside all night. So they'll have to get their skates sharpened in the morning as well by me or themselves. We'll see who gets
will
that
you
done.
Flood tonight being cold again? Will you put the hose to work?
I will not. No, I don't have the hot water. So a lot of times it just cracks and doesn't work as well. Really, it works good. Hopefully the kids shovel. They ended up going to the game, but I think so hopefully they shoveled a little bit, but when it's this cold and blowing, it just kind of does its own. I'm not, we don't have Winter Classic type ice in the back. They can rug it a little bit.
Okay. All right. Man, does Mace put the gear on or no?
No. Well, sometimes if his buddies are over, he'll put like the street hockey gear on and they'll play with the tennis ball or whatever. But most of the time, it's just him and his brother and sister.
All right, nice.
He's yelling at
maybe we'll have to come and do an outdoor brew one night.
More than welcome.
Maybe we do an outdoor brew. We let Jakey and the kids go and we sit there and have a nighttime brew. Maybe.
Yeah, this weekend will be good. This week we can do that.
All right. All right. So yeah, check out sparkshockey.com and thank you to all of our sponsors. I agree with you. I wanted to ask you about Jeremy Swayman and about it. I thought he was pretty good. I did. Thought he was good. One thing I wanted to ask you about though is still like early in the game, I thought a little bit of the decisions with the puck, moving it and everything.
The handles are weird.
Handles. What's going on there? Because the handles haven't been nearly as whether they're passes or placement. I know you fix it by practicing in video. I get all that, but what are you seeing? What are you thinking about it?
I don't know. I don't know where it just feels like there's not enough communication or not everyone's on the same page. So whether he's holding it for a split second or two, or if the D's not opening up the correct way, but or it's just this is what happens when you lose 5 in a row. You just start noticing things more too, right? Like that's what this league does too, and that's what these losses do, and they magnify everything so quickly and so easily, and but because they don't look crisp, and and I thought a few times today they could have got cleaner out of the zone and they didn't. It didn't directly lead to any of the goals, but it sure didn't help keep them out of their own zone.
No, it didn't.
And
It just
again,
something.
that's they can make 5-foot passes, right? Like, it's mental. There's something that's just that mental little block that they have right now. It's that they're not playing free. It's like they're forced or thinking, similar to the power play that you talked about.
And how quickly that changes. That's
Oh, instant. Yeah.
yeah. I know I'm trying to be more, I guess, positive and say, well, if it can change quickly, going from good to bad, it can go back from bad to good quickly.
Mhm.
But if I'm being honest, I sure as shit don't love the Florida Tampa matchups coming up, as sitting here saying, I'm really confident that they're going to feel, look the way they need to look. With that said, you never know. I guess, but it doesn't look like this team right now. How do you get confident again? How do you get, you can say you have go out and have a good practice. I get that, but somebody's going to have to lead. Somebody's going to have to start it, and it's going to have to permeate through the room then, because if you got guys that aren't feeling it, it's not going to be good for this team, especially given their opponent. And by the way, their opponents coming up are saying, wait, we know these are the dog days of the season, but Tampa's like, we got games in hand on the Bruins, right? So if we beat them and have games in hand, we really separate ourselves. What is it? 5 games in hand, I think it is, heading into Thursday's tilt. And then Saturday, you're playing Florida, which has not been a good matchup for the Bruins this season.
Yeah, no, it's a tough go. It's a tough go. It's a tough schedule. The NHL is a tough schedule, and but again, when you've lost 5 in a row in this league, the San Jose Sharks feel like the '84 Oilers. They do. Like, when you start losing like this.
By the way, you play San Jose soon too.
You look at every game and it looks tough until, like you said, it flips. It's what's going to flip this, I can almost assure you, is a power play goal. A power play goal is going to blow the doors off of this team, because it's been so long since they've had one. So it really can be as simple as that. It can be as simple as getting that same sequence happen to them on the road this weekend with a breakaway save by Swayman and a goal the other end. They haven't had any of those recently. So it does happen quick. It might not happen for a few more games. It is going to flip, and it's going to flip quickly. And their job as players is to figure out what that play is going to be that flips them.
I haven't looked this up. I'm sure somebody else has. I don't know where the Bruins power play ranks historically compared to other seasons. And it really doesn't matter, because every year is different. But, people like their stats and people like comparables and stuff. So maybe tomorrow, if I get off my ass, I'll look that up. It just seems like, oh my gosh. I mean, the power play just seems, it doesn't seem it's right now. It's just at a place that is such a negative for this team.
Yeah, it really is. There's nothing better. You can't get around it, and it's the reason. Like, there aren't over the 5 games or over since Christmas.
They got to change something with it, bud. Whether
it isn't, yeah, and it's the reason. It's the reason. So you do have to. You gotta
not a good
really
look.
Flip it up, or
whatever. All right,
just your best guys to be better at that.
Yeah. Maybe they got to game plan it better too. They got everybody has to be better on it, from players to coaches. Have to be better on it. It just the way it is. It's that time. All right, just looking at a couple of other numbers before we wrap up this show. The Bruins were credited with 45 hits in this game. 45. 18 for the Edmonton Oilers. A lot of those hits are because they spent a lot of time in their own zone trying to recover and get the puck back.
Yeah, and also because they're not feeling great about their game. They're just trying, like Elias Lindholm with 4 or 5 big hits. He's trying to get himself going. They were trying to get themselves going. So I think that's a big reason for it too. Edmonton had the puck a lot, and they were trying to hit to get themselves into it.
Mason Lohrei -3. Brad Marchand, Andrew Peak -2. Marchand, I believe, in the last couple of games might be pushing -9. Hume. I have late
Three empty
night.
netters.
Yeah, empty netters. No question. That line though, last game was we talked about.
Yeah, they were bad last game. Yeah,
was not good. Just real quick because I want to be accurate on things. -2 tonight, -4 against the Islanders. That's 6. -3 at Toronto. So yeah, -9.
yeah.
Right, -4.
You know, he goes on a 12-game point streak and they win, and you go -9, then yeah, you lose.
Yeah, that line's got to be better. It has me wondering. Is it time? Do you move Coyle back to that third line center spot? You move somebody else up there? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm guessing that. Good chance maybe on the road seeing that happen coming up. All right, nothing else really jumps out. Let's wrap up this show. It wasn't good, and the good news is you and I have another opportunity to work together and then do a show together after Thursday when the Boston Bruins go down to Tampa with the moms in tow, and hopefully skate out of that very tough rink now to play in with a victory. Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, Victor Hedman, Andre Vasilevsky. They got a good team. Better team than I thought they were going to be. They're even though they're top heavy, their D has been better than I thought they'd be, and their depth has been better. They've had some kids step up, and it's been good there for them so far. All right, so the Bruins lose this one 4-0. Razor and I will be back after Thursday's game to talk, hopefully, about a Boston Bruins victory. Hang in there. That's all I can say. Nothing else witty. I'm not that witty to begin with, so hang in there, Bruins fans, and keep drinking that coffee. It'll hopefully make you feel better, or at least give you a caffeine test.